Never thought possible. Boy, it was a nice spring day in the West yesterday. Portland, Seattle, both records 79, 78 degrees respectively. Even Quileute, right on the ocean, 65 degrees. And how about Klamath Falls, Oregon? A record-setting 79 on Sunday. It was nice and sunny, and 70 in Salt Lake City. How about mid-80s yesterday in Las Vegas and also at Phoenix? You folks will see low 90s before this day is out. It's also going to be warmer today in Denver than the 62 you had yesterday. 39 was the high in Chicago and Detroit, while along the eastern seaboard we saw 40s, Boston and New York, 50s, D.C. and Raleigh-Durham, and 60s yesterday in Charleston, Atlanta, and also in Pensacola, Florida. Now in the west, a ridge of high pressure dominates, but in the east, there's a dip in the jet stream or a low pressure trough. Now this morning, in response to that, we have one storm along the eastern seaboard, but storm number 2 is already taking shape over Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it will follow the jet stream winds. And this may be the weather picture, the surface map, if you will, by late Tuesday, late tomorrow, or tomorrow night. That is a second storm, storm number 2. Just off the coast of Massachusetts, just southeast of Cape Cod. The second storm may bring another round of heavy, wet snows to southern New England and eastern New York State. And there may be even storm number 3 by the time we get to Wednesday and Thursday. We'll have to keep you posted on that. At any rate, today's forecast shows storm number 1 departing, storm number 2 beginning to take shape over East Tennessee. By this time tomorrow morning, it's right around the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay, spreading a band of wet snows across D.C., Baltimore, and Philadelphia. And by the time we get to, say, lunchtime on Tuesday, wet snow or rain and snow mix may be edging into New York City, Hartford, and into Boston. Precipitation will be fairly light the next 24 hours, with snowfalls moderately heavy over Maine and New Hampshire, right around the presidential range, and the second system may kick up 3 to 6 inches of accumulation over the west central highlands of Virginia, particularly tonight and early on Tuesday. Now the east will be cool today, the west warm, and tonight's lows will reflect the cold air in the east with teens over northern Wisconsin, but 60s around Phoenix and Las Vegas. A quick look at the upcoming week shows we start cold in the east, but moderate dramatically as we head into Thursday and Friday, with the snow going bye-bye and the 60s returning to Boston, Hartford, New York City, and Philadelphia on Friday. Back to Tuesday, snow and wind, northeast, lingering snow on Wednesday. After that, the emphasis shifts to the nation's midsection with showers and thunderstorms, Kansas City to Dallas. Cheryl?
Well, it could be a rather tricky day for traveling. A chance for some showers and thunderstorms plaguing South Florida. More snows overspreading the northeast and increasing moisture across the Pacific Northwest.
Other information for your neighborhood. Only on the Weather Channel.
is a special edition of WeatherScope with the latest on the coastal storm threatening New England.
Good morning on this April 8th, the day after Easter, and for many, the Easter Bunny brings snow, which for many, I don't think that you want any more of that. It has been a very, very busy winter. We've had one storm system after another. Binghamton, New York, now beating the all-time snowiest winter on record by about a tenth of an inch of snow, picking up over 5 inches of snow yesterday. We've had reports of 5 to 6 inches of snow surrounding the Boston metro, and one report, South Woodstock, Vermont, 13 inches of snow from the latest storm system. Let's show you where that area of low pressure is right now, and it is sitting out there south and east of the Cape, kind of spinning its wheels here. There's our area of low pressure. The upper level low is sitting back here, and we are seeing it fairly stationary. Now, what's going to happen throughout the day is this low is going to start to be pulled up into the Canadian Maritimes, and as the moisture moves a little closer, throws back into Maine, we expect some heavier snow amounts throughout western parts of Maine and in through northern New Hampshire. Some of the heavier snow amounts will be coming down. Again, things have cleared out across western PA. Believe it or not, the next storm system can bring snow to Philly, but that is another story. We don't want to touch that right now. We will in a second, though. We have had gale warnings in effect now from coastal Maine all the way down onto Watch Hill, as we are seeing some strong northerly winds kicking up. And you can see that from Boston and Nantucket all the way back on through Providence and through southern Connecticut, even around Islip and Farmingdale. This is all very, very light snow. We've had bursts of snow at times, and we do have Jeff Morrow standing by, who spent his Easter in Andover, Massachusetts. I think this is, about our 4th trip to Boston now this year. Folks are getting used to, I think, seeing the Weather Channel in Boston. Jeff?
We had some folks stop by last night. They saw us and stopped over to say hello. Quite a few, as a matter of fact. And one man said that he had measured 119 inches of snow so far this winter since last November, and he was looking for that one more inch that would put him over the 10-foot mark. And you know what, Jody? He got it last night. As a matter of fact, he got, looks like 4 or 5 bonus inches on top of that. Did want to show you that what's underneath this snow can be a little treacherous. If I can get Keel to pan down here a little bit. You see this? This is what's underneath the snow. It's very icy. I mean, this might be kind of a wet snow, and it doesn't look like much, but it can get real icy here and very, very slippery if you're not careful. So particularly off the main roadways, like Interstate 93 behind me here, that's just wet right now, and so the traffic is moving along, although it has slowed down here a little bit this morning. But I think that's pretty typical of the morning rush hour. But on the secondary roads, it can get awfully slushy if they're not plowed, and it can be kind of messy out there. And visibility's come down, Jody. I think that heavier snow band you were talking about an hour or so ago has gotten here, and I think we're down to about a half mile, and it's snowing pretty good.
All right, Jeff, I'm still waiting for the snowman.
We'll work on that.
Okay, we'll check back with you in half an hour.
All right.
And that was Jeff Morrow, who is live in Andover, just north of the Boston area by 40 miles, according to my map. That could be wrong, but that's what it looks like on my map anyway. And it is snowing there. It is snowing in Boston. Again, another snowstorm for this time of the year, a little unusual. I guess the good thing is it is April 8th, and it's going to stick around for maybe a day or so, and hopefully we can get rid of it. But there's another one on the heels. Let's show you the radar. This is a Doppler radar, folks, and as Jeff was mentioning, you can see some of the darker greens moving in right here, and it is moving right over Jeff right now, and that's why he is seeing some reduced visibility, just a little bit, and across the southeastern Mass and back onto Rhode Island. This is where the darker greens are, and that is still where we have our winter storm warnings in effect this morning. Now, with a northerly wind coming in, we do have some gale warnings that have been issued, where we could see winds gusting to 50 miles an hour. You can see for the Cape, down on through Block Island, down through Watch Hill. So it's going to be a bit windy today, so keep that in mind. Most of the major freeways should be okay. Check ahead with your air carrier. It is just a slushy, wet snow, but it is causing some power outages because of the heavy, wet snow, especially, I think, when the winds pick up throughout this area. We will have some minor problems. So just check ahead before you hit the roadways. Again, some of the heavier snow is expected to fall through western Maine. 6 to 12 inches anticipated here. But then you notice this big band of moisture. That is our next storm system. So just when you thought it was safe, it's not, because we have yet, with this northerly flow, we have this northwesterly flow that has been very persistent most of this winter. Ridge in the west, trough in the east, you know the drill, same old, same old. And we have another band of moisture now moving in. Believe it or not, this next disturbance has already brought in about 3 4 inches of snow through the mountains of North Carolina. Winter storm warnings have been issued here, and the next disturbance is coming down the pike. So we show you real quickly a few special frames to exactly where the next disturbance is. One disturbance moves out. The next disturbance across Wisconsin swings around the base of the upper level low. So by tomorrow, snows will be moving in. Winter storm watches have been issued for D.C. I think between 6, 7 o'clock tonight through midnight, even on into tomorrow morning, you'll see your heaviest bands of snow as another coastal low develops over Hatteras. And hang in there, because Wednesday looks to be another cold day, another snowy day. For most of New England, I think the snows will even get into New York City this time. And we're talking about, hopefully, our last hit of snow before things start to change. Hopefully we're going to break down the pattern. You can see that we've had that persistent ridge in the west. Record high yesterday, beautiful Easter Sunday around Seattle. There's the ridge, there's the trough, and all of these disturbances have been dropping into the trough. But I think as we head on into the weekend, we are going to see that ridge break down in the west. It's going to slide more in the central part of the country, hopefully warming those of you in the east up. What does that mean for the west coast? Well, we're going to check out the answer with Rick.
Well, Jody, for the west, it means a lot of warm weather. In fact, the projected high today in Boise, Idaho is about 81. Let's say right around 80 degrees. The record high is 81 today. So the warm weather, thanks to a ridge of high pressure, continues to dominate the west. Well, Jody's talking about storm number 1. That system will be moving away late today. And this is storm number 2 here on the satellite in motion, tracking its way through the Tennessee Valley. That'll be the next storm to head for the mid-Atlantic coast by this time tomorrow morning, and then up off Cape Cod late Tuesday night into early Wednesday. This morning we have storm number 1 up here with its snow near Boston, Hartford, and Worcester, back to Glens Falls and Syracuse in eastern New York State. In the south, light precipitation, a little light rain in Nashville and Memphis, and there's been some snow on the Cumberland Plateau near Crossville. And over at Asheville, North Carolina, a few wet snowflakes are sifting down on this Monday morning. A few rain showers in South Florida, and there's a little rain near Pierce, South Dakota, and also around Miles City in Montana. Rapid City right now is 42. It's 46 in Denver, 52 in Dallas-Fort Worth, 22 this morning. Cold morning, April morning in Chicago as it is in Buffalo. Rain and snow is ending around New York City. It's 37, and under partly cloudy skies it's 48 in Atlanta, while it's a mild start to the day in Miami and even 70 degrees. Snow in the northeast, we can see that on radar. A rain-snow mix in the Tennessee Valley, light rain showers near the Gulf Coast, and a little bit of a wintry mix through the nation's midsection. Most of this is sprinkles from North and South Dakota southward into Nebraska. In the west again, high pressure dominates. How about low 90s in Phoenix and Las Vegas, and around 80 today in the Snake River Valley. Details on the forecast will be coming up, and we'll also take a look ahead through this week, and that's in store right after this.